Be real.
Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Yeah, let's just be honest.
Let's just be.
Match involving the two players who've earned most ranking points this season. Luca Brecel against Mark Selby. One to savour, Alan McManus.
You wish.
Yes, it was about 90 minutes ago that Luca Brecel destroyed Judd Trump. And I've been looking forward to this
frame.
since
Luca
that
Brecel
moment.
to break.
This is going to be a belter this evening. Best of 11, a proper match as well.
I think actually the hilarity before the start of the match was because Mark Selby asked Brendan Moore, the referee, whether his seat was a recliner. After all, it is 3 o'clock in the morning, China time. Just a question of whether after the 11 frames this evening, he'll have Luca Brecel for breakfast.
Yeah, but don't be fooled. Mark Selby, tough as old boots. Oh, he's off and running.
One.
They say in golf that you don't get many times when a top player will shoot 61 or 2 and then follow it up with another one in the low 60s. Can Luca Brecel produce a similar performance he produced this afternoon against Judd Trump, as I mentioned? Oh, he wasn't missing those earlier.
Luca Brecel, 8.
The point being, not just as easy to put two top performances together and they want on the same day.
1.
The one motivating factor for Selby, he knows if he can battle through this tonight, he's got 2 days off. And if he comes back to the Rico on Saturday against
8.
Sean Murphy refreshed, then of course he will be his usual formidable self.
Nine. $14. 15.
'Clever shot. Red above the blue helps him here.
22.
Bring another reds into play.
$23.
I think he was banking on getting 18 inches of pace out of the cue ball. Choice of yellow or black, both missable.
The far jaw on that kind of shot is friendlier than the near jaw. Used it to his advantage. And now occupying
31.
Absolutely prime position. This is a bona fide frame winning chance.
$36. $37. 42. 43. 50. 51.
One surefire way to get the adrenaline going. Be at the table in scoring mode. All players love that. The best possible tonic.
Yeah, there's a bit of work to do here, Mark. The last 5 reds. Not going to be easy. He's looking at red pink. Yeah, that's why you see him just eyeing up the pink. Should he pot
56.
this red, which I also expect him to. See where he's queuing at this. Yeah, he's queuing low. So, top side of the pink.
57.
Being a right-hander, he may have been stretching on it. So, probably why he played for blue. Now, don't think the angle's quite there for 2 cushions and into them. That red that's nearest the 2 reds on the left-hand side, the one nearest the pink, cannon that, he'd be unlucky not to be on one with pace. And he's found the gap.
$62.
54 in front, but 67 on, and this is a real pressure ball.
Oh, dreamy. How well has he hit that? You think he likes a challenge? Mark Selby, you bet he does. He looks right up for this.
66. 67. Was that? I'll have a word after this. 74.
I think there might have been a little bit of movement behind the pocket there. Brendan Moore said he would have a word
75.
at the end of the break. Didn't affect Selby's concentration, thankfully. The frame well and truly under wraps.
$82. 83. $90. 91.
'What a well-compiled break.
98.
Just watch for something here after he pots the yellow. Watch the pace that he walks round the table. Unhurried.
100.
Look at that. That's deliberate. Keep the heart rate down as low as he can.
103.
All good for relaxation. Look at that.
$107.
It's the 17th time he's made a
112.
century this season in competition. Number 491 in his career.
118.
Luca Brecel missed the red. He should have potted. Mark Selby did the rest. A message has been issued. The world champion, 1-0 ahead. And Mark Selby has made a morale-boosting start.
Mark Selby to break.
And just before we get into the meat of this second frame, let me give you a really interesting statistic. That was the 12th century of this tournament in the first 3 days here in Coventry. It's a single table event, of course, elite. Now, think back to the Masters, the other tournament of a similar ilk to this. In the first 4 years of that tournament's existence, 1975 to 1978, total century breaks made, 0. And we've had 12 in 3 days here. They call it the good old days.
The bad old sad old days, Phil. Yeah, the standard's gone up a bit, isn't it? Good safety, that. Look at. There's no doubt that Luca Brecel, as we said, and the boys in the studio, is definitely maturing all the time as a player, especially in the last 6 months to a year. I'm interested to see how he can handle the tactical side of the game tonight against the master. Yeah, he's not hugely interested in the red on the right side of the table. He feels it's a guaranteed double kiss, regardless of how thick or thin he hits it.
Yeah.
Said the master. That's an example of just why. Yes, if he can just bend the cue ball round the brown here, there's no double kiss because he's playing extreme left-hand side. The cue ball should just kick to the right. You see it. Well worked out.
Good reply.
He's asking the world champion a few questions over in this frame. Mark having none of it. That's what bases his game on, Mark Selby. He plays that shot banking on that his next shot is going to get the return of the ball with zero risk. Let's see if his plan works out. Luca bringing the black into play.
But the contact on the brown means that at the very least, Selby has wrestled back the tactical initiative.
Yeah, chasing in behind the brown, catching this thick. Catching the blue wasn't in the part of the plant, so Luca Brecel, mid-distance red. Little tester. Oh, past with flying colours.
One.
Great shot.
We shouldn't read too much into the first frame century from Selby. As Joel correctly told us before
7.
the start of the match, it's 2-1 to Selby in career meetings. Brecel's win came at the Welsh Open in 2015 in the 4th round. Selby made 2 centuries, 131, 114 to lead 3-2, but he couldn't quite get over the line. Has to sustain excellence to get the win tonight. And also bear in mind that one of Selby's wins in the Gdynia Open in Poland was by 4 frames to 3 from 3-0 down.
8.
So Brecel's been in the bear pit with him and competed.
I know this is not an easy chance, but it's plain to see that he's been a little more considered tonight. It's simply down to who's sitting in the opposite chair. Oh, very good.
15. $21. 22. 28.
I'm not sure if he can maybe try and get through the gap onto the black playing this red. He's played for it.
29.
Great shot. I think he can cue this with freedom as well. I don't know if he can either hold the white or screw onto the other red. Maybe hold it. Oh, little screw shot. So this is brilliant stuff. $36 to lead, 3 easy reds, and it looks like a potential plant as well. Those 2 reds in line.
37.
The left-hand black pocket, so could win the frame at this visit.
Yes, and if he gets that far, he's not afraid to take on a plant. Knocked in a cracker to score his very first point this afternoon against Trump, and it set the whole tone.
43. 44.
love to just be low in this next red. Yeah, that's what he's played, and he's played it to the absolute inch. What that means is he's almost guaranteed a nice high angle on the next pink.
51.
No, that's loose. If he's landed straight, I think he's actually just low straight, so he can either play round the back of the two reds or play the disturb. So you just get a hint of angle on it. But that was loose. He should have been high.
$57. Luca Brecel, 57.
Well, a fine break. And where the Reds are, even a man of Mark Selby's escapology exploits, he's going to struggle to get this frame under the belt. But I'm not going to write him off.
No, I wouldn't do that. Against most players, Luca would be going back to his chair there thinking, oh well, five reds in the cushion, brown tied up, blue not easy. I'm going to certainly win the frame, but I'll still be paying full attention. Again, down to the quality of his opponent. Sooner or later, one by one, these reds are going to get pushed into open play. May not look a good table at the moment, but 5 or 6 shots down the line.
Mark Selby, 8.
Be a different story. Here's a shot Luca's not seeing. The red on the right side of the table, just play it full ball with pace. Natural double kiss back into baulk. Obviously not a shot he's really very comfortable playing.
One.
Actually, the awkwardness of the Reds now is a problem for Brecel, because he still needs a few more pots. Oh, well done. Clever.
8. Nine.
He's 58 in front, 59 on for Selby, so the black is frame ball.
16. Seventeen. $24. Luca Brecel, 24, and the frame.
Selby gives the nod of concession. Another frame that underlines Brecel's confidence. Luca is level. Jens continues. It's a tough school, this. The best of the best. Look at Mark Selby. He's got a 97% pot success rate in this match and nothing to show for it.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the help or the cover. I think the black does pass. The pink's also on to left middle, so he can play this with some degree of confidence. Get the cue ball going back up on the path towards the blue there. A choice of two. Controlled it pretty well.
Eight. Nine.
Let's watch Luca. And amongst the balls here, look at the length of backswing. Even on that little shot, almost takes the pressure off a pot. Just a natural potter, this boy.
16.
This little red, even there, the cue ball comes back.
17.
The cue rather comes back. Good 8 inches or so. Look at that, came back almost off his finger, but why so hard? He still had 5 or 6 loose reds to drop on there.
17.
And having missed the black and gone into the reds so robustly, very fortunate not to leave anything on it all. That kind of luck against top quality opposition, Alan, can be invaluable.
Yeah, that'll help him, but he can't afford to miss too many of those. A great chance, I say there was 5 or 6 loose reds. I think that was more prudent there to just build the break.
To compound Selby's frustration, Brecel did even leave an opportunity to get the cue ball back into bulk. And that's why the Belgians got the upper hand now.
Yeah, you can just about see it full ball, the red by the black. That's concerning him There's the double kiss. He's actually looking at getting somewhere in behind the brown playing this. Watch the cue ball arc round the cluster of reds here. You might not see it from that picture. Watch the cue ball just arcing. Now you see it, a little bend round the corner, tracking the brown. Oh, this is excellent. That is a proper snooker shot, that.
And with the reds already spread, this is maximum strife for Selby. He's got a phenomenal snooker brain, but even his thought process will be stretched to the limit to find a way to escape here and leave everything safe.
Yes, it's side cushion in between pink and blue, and those two reds nearest the left black pocket. Just hope to cannon one of those and somehow get it safe. So trusting to luck here, but there is a method behind the shot, not just playing it willy-nilly. You see it in between pink and blue. How's the contact? Fantastic. All right, he's left a red, but he's asking a question of Luca. That's all he could hope for.
One. Seven. Eight.
Yeah, that was loose again. No problem potting the pink, rolling it in, but he may not get on a red that way. It's awkward playing it with pace. Well recovered.
14. Thank you. 15.
He's not on it.
Thank you. Black ball.
Yeah, he's playing the swerve. Just depends how much he has to swerve this. I think he's all right here. Yeah, it wasn't too difficult. Fortunately, with nothing to do with the cue ball, it'll be decent the next red, so he's dodged one there.
22.
Settle himself down here and get back in amongst it.
$23. $30. $31.
There's no doubt Selby's got his hands full. You're looking at one very confident snooker player. You can just tell, not just the way he's cueing, but his whole demeanour oozing self-belief.
37. Thanks. 38.
What happened in Guangzhou, China when he won the China Championship has basically transformed Brecel
45.
from prospect to champion.
46.
And he's still only 22 years of age.
$53. Thanks. Thank you.
Yes, he's put together a nice
54.
break, but I think what will give him most satisfaction is the way he got in for it. He outmanoeuvred Selby in a tactical duel. Played a lovely snooker, as Alan said, and this is the fruit of his labour.
61. $62. $69. $70. Luca Brecel, 70, out in the front.
Only a 70 in the end, but more than sufficient to give Luca Brecel the lead. He was 1-0 down, now he's 2 on up. For the mid-session interval in this Champion of Champions quarter-final. And although it's still relatively early days, Mark Selby will be very keen to win it. Good attractive stuff so far from both players. Their average shot times, both less than 20 seconds. Selby 19, that's a quick clip for him. Brecel 18 seconds.
Good shot, that. Good choice of shot. Gets in behind the yellow, it's a bonus. But it was the nature of the way he played the shot which was so impressive. Not frightened to open the reds up.
Well, that's something that John Higgins has always done, isn't it? When he's played safe, he's trying to split the reds and give himself maximum opportunity to score heavily should the other guy not be able to respond.
This time he has some options as far as reds on cushions go, but I don't see any way how he can get to the one behind the black spot. That's the one he'd like to get to. Reds on the side cushion are no good, obviously.
And there I was saying that Selby's average shot time is 19 seconds. Forget that now. He's taken over a minute on this one with every justification, in fairness.
Yeah, he's probably can't get to the one in the cushion here, but the one that's almost on the black spot, that's what he's hoping to get. He can get a piece of that and hope for a bit of luck. But he's not really got it. To say, I think he was playing that knowing he couldn't get to the red in the cushion. That's a wee bit unfortunate. But so I'll take Luca's all of his attention. Blind pocket, but a big shot.
One. Three. Four.
He's not frightened of taking major scalps already this season. He's beaten Marco Fu, Ronnie O'Sullivan, Sean Murphy. On a couple of occasions he's beaten Murphy, in fact. He's beaten Anthony McGill, Ryan Day. What about Mark Selby?
Yeah, he's tracking the black, the red and the black spot, I think, playing this. Needs to slip past that. Well, he's alright, he's got it full ball. He's absolutely fine. Again, a very mature choice of shot, that. The way he played it, almost impossible not to be on one. Cannon on the red next to the blue. He's got a kick, but he's just about still on it. And this time he will be playing for that red and the black spot. Wants to play for it, that's for certain. So whether he can hold this cue ball. Now decided to play for a choice of reds. I don't think he's on one down this end.
12.
Nothing doing down here. The red near the blue, obviously can pot that. He play it in such a way the only red he can leave would be that one if he plays it. It might be worth the risk, just depends how much he fancies it. It's awkward bridging as well. Oh, what a shot.
13.
Right into the heart of the pocket, look at this. Never touched the sides.
Mentioned earlier that cue action, that backswing, such a long backswing and gradual acceleration into the cue ball. That's where he generates the power.
$16.
Acknowledged there with the raised hand that he'd been fortunate with that positional shot, but now he's right at the business end of the table in the scoring zone.
Yes, actually, just looking at this, when the black goes on
70.
the spot, I wonder if he still might be able to pot the red. It'll be next to the black. It's maybe just too risky to play for it. He has alternatives, as you can see. You're about to find out. The black won't go, but maybe the red will for later.
24.
My apologies, actually the black would go properly on its own spot. was thinking it was covered.
$25. Luca Brecel, 25.
Just a little too hasty on that one, I think. He didn't have the best contact off the red, and I think that might have still been in his mind.
One.
Yeah, forced
Six.
to go back up for blue. He could maybe have got on the black, but I've been certain of getting on a red following it, so top side of this is a
Seven.
must. Just about got it, but he won't be able to do an awful lot with this cue ball.
$12. $13.
This is a better angle. Little cannon on the pink. Hoping to catch it half ball.
$18. $19.
Well, at that pace, that was a really good shot, and Selby deserved an awful lot more than he got.
Thanks. Mark Selby, 19.
Merely containing, I think, the most eye-catching aspect of tonight for me, Alan, is the fact that Brecel's tactical game has been right up there.
Yes, at the very least he's competing. You could make a case that he's winning the majority of the safety battles. He's certainly given as good as he's getting. Mark Selby will know that as well. He definitely looks a little under pressure tonight, Mark Selby. I think partly, I think we mentioned the studio earlier, he'll be fully aware of the performance of Luca earlier on against Judd Trump. Oh, you lucky boy. All's not lost, mind you. Mark, you can play the red near the black. Get the cue ball in a similar position. He won't be leaving the red here. It was fortunate from Luca, but not decisive.
Yes, let's just say the jester didn't see the funny side of that one, but he's kept his concentration as he always does and puts his opponent in the lengthy grass. Oh, now then.
One.
Mark's seen the funny side of it as well, actually, as is Luca. Actually, the roll up behind the yellow might not be even worth playing. Sometimes it's better to force your opponent to have to play a shot and maybe shift a few of these reds. That's why he's playing a different type of shot. He got the snooker. Actually not a bad one, in fairness. Not bad here, actually, Mark Selby. He doesn't have to see an awful lot of this because he'll be bending it anyway. A lot of left hand side and sending the red up towards the brown. Top spin in the cue ball should keep it down here.
In the lap of the gods where the red went, but at least a quasi-sensible cue ball.
Yes, but this is where Mark Selby will get to work. I'm not sure if he'll play the double here. It's just about getting a good cue ball. That's just good tactics, that from the world champion. He wants to get the upper hand in it because he knows that within 5 or 6 shots these reds are liable to be all in the open.
No cover this time.
Just looking ahead here as well, should he get nice on a bulk colour here, he can almost pick his spot when potting the second red with a nice angle, but he hasn't got on one nicely. That's a poor shot from Mark. He'd have been aware of that, as he could have picked his spot off that second red on a bulk colour and attack those 2 reds. I think he'll be doing that now. Unless, is he looking just above the middle pocket here, trying to pot the brown, just miss the black on the low side of it and hopefully get into those 2 reds on this shot.
Bramble.
an effort.
Five.
There was a little apology actually when Mark cue ball came to rest. I think he just caught the bottom bump of the middle pocket just a fraction.
6.
Playing the snooker, just trying to use the yellow as well. Cover the red down the table.
I'll
I think
6.
he's got it.
I think from the sound there, he had a little kick on the yellow, and that took all the pace out of the object ball. Hence no snooker.
I think now here, Luca doesn't want to be. Don't really know why he's not playing the red on the left cushion, because there's no double kiss playing it. This is risky. He's trusting to luck. He's not left a red, but he might find himself in a spot of trouble.
Lengthiest frame of the match by some distance, this, and you get the feeling psychologically the most important so far. Struck that pretty well, but not quite accurately enough.
Yes. 1.
It was actually a good decision to play for pink or black there. I think Markle, I've already noticed the scoreboard. Pink or black, followed by a brown. I mean, he wouldn't need the blue. You see 6 points to lead. He wants to arrive at the yellow.
7.
More than 9 in front. He
8.
wants the brown. Still fancy him to get the blue. going to need it now.
Ten. $12.
Yes, anything but straight in this brown, and you'd fancy him getting close and behind the blue.
15. $19.
18 in front, 18 on the table, just confirmation there on the scoreboard for Selby. Not a gimme this.
Yeah, just thinking the same thing. This is not a sitter. Should get it. How important was the value of the last colour?
Thanks. Mark Selby, 90.
We've not seen a respotted black yet in the tournament. I think we've got one coming up here.
$5. $11.
15 reds and 6 colours, not sufficient to determine the winner of the frame. We need an extra black, and here it comes. The important thing now, who wins the toss?
It's a tails, Luca. It's a tail. Your choice, Mark.
Yes, now fully expect him to be playing this what I call side to side. Yeah, that's what he's looking at. He's seeing his eyes glance towards that right cushion, left cushion, sorry, where he's putting the black. Not bad, but it's not really putting Mark under pressure. The only one thing here, I expect Mark Selby to be aware of this, but if he plays this with topspin, he can go in off in that pocket that the black's close to. Especially if you hit the black really thick. Just watch for that. Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, I think Mark Selby won't fall for that. That's why he's digging down on it, playing a stun. Clever. You seen that cue ball just almost trying to arc back towards the pocket, but he's played it well. Good shot.
What a pot from Luca Brecel. What a crushing blow potentially for Mark Selby. He missed the blue with the rest. Brecel stole it. He leads 3-1.
Just the usual 15 minutes.
European under-21 champion at 14, European amateur champion at 15.
Luca Brecel to break.
Youngest ever competitor at the Crucible at 17. Of course, all his natural ability has to be supplemented with knowledge that you can only pick up from dozens, if not hundreds, of matches. Mark Selby was also a prolific winner of junior tournaments, but I never saw him as the superstar he's become I think a big change was very early in his professional career when he started his career with a very long backswing on all shots, even quite slow, soft ones. But then when he shortened his cue action, his improvement was
6.
immense.
Seven.
There's a very good opening red from the break-off shot, which I didn't think was that bad, from Luca Brecel. Yeah, he reached a ranking tournament final, didn't he, with that old pretty wild and woolly cue action, but he's a
12.
different story these days, of course. If you add up the points of world rank 2 and 3, he's got more than both of them put together.
Thanks. 13.
And what an appetite for the game he's got. Illustrated perfectly today. He's tired from jet lag, but where was he during the mid-session interval? On the practice table.
20. 21.
It's been a very good match so far, and Mark Selby, despite everything, has got to raise
28.
his game a little. He's starting to do that already here. That was not the cannon he expected. He hit
29.
both reds. I wonder if he thought he'd get a thicker cannon off the first red or similar. This is not where he wanted to be. Really thin and awkward cueing. Needs to get a nice nudge. And one slightly array
36.
positional shot has put the pressure on this too. It's starting to mount up the pressure. And he wouldn't have wanted to have to play safe,
Mark
but there
Selby,
was
36.
the only other way he could go was to try and keep the break alive by taking a risk. It's not really his style. He sticks to his percentage regime. Shots that he thinks he'll get more times than he misses. Looked like he was going to get more than 36 there when he first got in. And once again, it's a very good and well-shaped safety shot in behind the green. A little tap on the table from the world champion. He may be forced into going for this red. No, obviously easy safety. I think see it full on. He may also consider rolling into the bunch, as if in a snooker, even though he isn't. didn't play all that well. I don't know if he's left that red on, but it was an error. So once again, as Stephen Hendry was saying during the mid-session interval, Luca is matching Mark Selby in all departments.
Eight.
That was his opening red, which Selby left on rather carelessly when he should have left the cue ball buried in the bunch.
Very close. Just thinking
Luca
on that shot.
Brecel.
I know he missed it, but if I could probably pick one player in the world right now to knock one of those in, it would be Luca Brecel. He got very close to it.
One.
Nice solid long putt.
Eight.
A quick inspection of the little bunch of 6 reds from Selby. He had an interest in the one at the top, right next to the pink. I don't know whether
Nine.
it goes in there or not. Round 2 cushions with top spin.
Not the best result he could have had.
14.
I don't think that shot's as easy to play as it used to be, when the balls at one point were slightly heavier. I think that top spin shot used to get better results.
Tough
Mark
putt
Selby.
that.
40.
Yes, Clive, but didn't it try hard to go in? It actually pulled in a fraction, this, you know. It's meant to because of the nap of the cloth, but that has gone all round the pocket. Unusual reaction, that. Big shot, this. What a chance that was. It really was to go on and make a frame-winning break there. That would have really knocked the stuffing out of Selby. I think Luca recognised the importance of it. He just missed it.
Whereupon Selby comes to the table already 42 in front.
1.
So this is a frame clinching opportunity.
Five. 6.
53, the difference when this goes in, if it goes in. Red high value colour, and he's pulled a frame back.
11.
If he plays up for the blue, he'll need one more red.
12.
No, not quite there. Still got some more work to do now. His next red will be a little bit further away than he planned.
$70.
59 in front, 59 on the table. So that should turn out to be frame ball.
$25. Mark Selby, 25 and a frame.
The loss of position of the series. Selby was already so far in front that Brecel immediately conceded. Brecel's lead is reduced to 3-2.
Never mind the shot, the cue made the most hideous sound there, like it was, well, he said it was broken, it sounded like it on that shot. A terrible noise.
Hasn't left anything easy though.
No, he's got away with one, hasn't he, Luca Brecel there. Well, he seems to have done. He's actually looking to cut this red in, I think. To the top right. Brave shot. Well, that's a really fine shot, isn't it? I mean, it really looked, that was, of the options he had, I thought one of the least likely. Dead weight also.
So that one excellent shot
5.
has created what may prove to be a significant break building opportunity.
6. $11.
That was a surprise though.
Mark Selby, 11.
The chance passes to Brecel.
One.
Yes, he's got to find that intensity that he had before the mid-session interval, which, as we've said a million times, that it
6.
can change the flow of a match.
Seven.
I'm not sure that every player on the tour would have gone into the bunch there. There were reds out in the open,
14.
and for that reason, this shot is not straightforward. Played it very well. Very
15.
well. If you're going to play a cannon, it might not be in the bunch. It might be to the red level with the pink. Yeah, that one. That's perfect.
$22.
It would feel very significant if he could maintain that two-frame lead that he had at 3-1. And he's got the chance to do it.
Just as a few minutes ago, Selby's excellent opening shot gave him a chance of making a big break to level the match at 3-all. Oh! Well, I never dreamt that he'd miss that.
Thanks. Luca Brecel, 22.
Yes, it was one of those that on another day might have just dropped in off the far jaw, depending on the table. But what he hasn't done is left a very easy plant. You see the two reds, you think, well, he's going to knock one onto the other. But as it happens, the red near the pocket, as you can see, is not hanging over the pocket. If he hits it full on, then he's not going to pot it. So it's not the most simple next pot here. Yeah, it was slightly awkwardly placed. What a reprieve for Brecel.
He really got away with one there.
One.
Nice cannon on the cluster.
8. Nine.
Mm.
16. $17.
Well, it was a calculated shot, I think, to go into those three. And he's managed
24.
to get on the other one to the middle bag. Very grateful for that second
25.
opportunity after being right in amongst them and breaking down.
$30. 31.
can clinch the frame without the assistance of any of the awkward reds, 3 of them.
$36. Nice.
This final piece of the jigsaw is to
37.
get onto that red by the pink, either into the middle pocket or I think it does pot to the bottom right as well. Oh, it's doing it by potting the pink. That does clear everything. Barring something pretty extraordinary. He's done enough here.
43.
This is an unmissable red.
$44.
Well past the post, one would think. That was a good attempt to
50.
keep the break going by cannoning one of the awkward reds.
Yeah, Selby might still play on though if this doesn't go in.
Luca Brecel, 50.
Luca making a good break of 50. Just needs to be a little careful that this doesn't go bad on him, this frame. Selby is a master at this, but it's not 1 snooker, but 3 that he needs as it stands.
1.
And you might think that with 1 red on the table, it could be just 1 snooker and a free ball that is what
8.
he needs. So a glimmer for the world champion.
Nine. $50.
So now the search for a snooker starts. Well, he
60.
won't be getting a free ball on the last red.
Yeah, even if he pots the black here, it's very much against his hopes of winning the frame, potting that red. And that gives him no chance.
Mark Selby, 60.
Brecel was 3-1 up at the mid-session interval. He's again going to be 2 frames in front at 4-2.
Foul. Mark Selby, 4. Yeah. Frame conceded. Frame. Luca
Even
Brecel.
off, too late to be of any interest to Selby. He trails 4-2. He's up against it.
Luca Brecel to break.
Leading by 4 frames to 2.
Foul. Luca Brecel, 4.
Needed to hit it just off straight, but in fact hit it just off straight the wrong side.
Yes, it's not a surprise, but he's not as sharp as he was last week in Darjeeling. And he looked... he got better and better as the week went on. But he's a human being, not a machine. And he's up against a very informed player tonight. Well, that's not the worst outcome. It's not left him an easy black, but I think he's got a pot. And when he gets it, he could be away. Albeit, I don't know how quite he's going to be able to reach this with any great comfort. Just get across for it. That's okay. That's better than okay, actually. Bit lucky on the pot on the red. He didn't know anything about that.
8.
Arrival onto the black. But, you know, he is a player that takes a few chances, lets the cue ball run and rides his luck a little.
That's one of the reasons why he's so attractive to watch. He's not a slave to the percentage game.
No, and we've really enjoyed watching him again today. This season he's improved a lot. And it seems to be that improvement has not stopped yet.
He's still only 22 years of age.
16. 17. 24. 25.
Brecel no longer sees anything strange or unusual in beating a member of snooker's elite, because he's a member of that elite himself these days.
Yes, and of course when he won his ranking event, China
32.
Championship, he beat Ronnie O'Sullivan on the way from quite a long way behind in that match. So he's not frightened of anybody.
33.
If anything, he plays his best snooker against the finest players.
Just give me a second look, please.
Brendan Moore's going to do his best to put this on the spot. If not, it's in line down the middle of the table, not touching any of the reds. Exploring the chance of sticking it there. If not, behind the bunches where it could end up.
In no circumstances can the respotted colour be touching another ball. It needs to be as near as possible without touching.
Thanks. 39. Thank you. 40.
There's not a very good angle on this black. Obviously the red up the table is very much on. The others are a little bit tightly bunched. Don't know that he'll play on the red to the left as from that shot on the rail. That's difficult. That's one way of getting anywhere up the table. Cue ball might be running a little bit here. Not in total control of it, but you've got to make sure the pot.
48.
This isn't quite a frame winning chance yet. It's a very good start. Doesn't want to play anything too flashy here. Doesn't want to give the advantage straight back. He might think about that red down the cushion this time, in the absence of anything else that he can play on.
.53.
Attempted to leave the red along the rail, but by cannoning the black, he's only left himself a safety.
Yes, and he needs to make it a good safety. Keep the pressure on the world champion.
Luca Brecel, 53.
That's very good. That's an excellent shot. One thing to end a break, but to end it with a watertight safety shot, that's the game. This is match snooker.
And so often you see the best safety shots played in behind yellow or green, cutting off the bunch or most of the balls.
Oh, that was my imagination. That just seemed to slither off that first cushion. And I didn't really take a proper bounce. It just slid. Left cushion as he hit it.
Mark. Okay, thank you.
You'll have to make an adjustment. What on earth is he looking at here? You would think another good safety shot is the order of the day. I think he wanted to push a red safe. I think for now his priority should be to get that cue ball underneath that bulk cushion. Not bad though.
Was again trying to cover the bunch by means of the yellow, but didn't quite manage it that time. Immaculate length from Selby.
Well, this is going to be a very thin edge if he's playing. Well, it looks like he's thinking of playing on this red on the right of the bunch. Oh, he doesn't want that one back. Two reds are covering each other. And the only good thing about what's happening here is a lot of these reds are drifting to the left cushion, much in his favour. About 3 or 4 shots ago, it looked like a possible clearance table if a chance came. Not so much now.
That was worth a go, and at least he hasn't left it. First to 6 wins. Brecel leads 4-2 and 61-0. So he only needs to pot a few more balls if he can get in again, and he'd be 3 up with 4 to play.
Well, another tremendous pot. He really is one of the best long potters, I think, in the game right now. A lot of people get tagged as that, don't they, during their career? But he knocks them in for fun, and he looks like he's going to get them, and he feels confident about them.
Well, he should, with such a
8.
lovely straight cue action, very smooth, lovely pulls at the back of his last backswing. That was a tricky
Luca
one, though.
Brecel, 8.
Yes, I mean, it's a 69-point lead, but there's still 83 on the table. But, there's not a forlorn hope just yet. He won't have given up the frame. Selby. I think he's been outplayed so far in this match, but he doesn't look sharp to me.
No, I think he's weakening as the evening's gone on.
One.
It was blue and one more red required.
6. Foul. Luca Brecel, 6. Mark Selby, 4.
But that's worked out in Brecel's favour. Only 67 left, and he leads by 71. One of the few instances whereby a player gains an advantage from a foul.
One.
Surely that puts the frame beyond doubt.
4.
75 in front, only 59 on.
Luca Brecel. 4. And the frame.
Selby concedes. Brecel goes 3 up to 4 to play. He leads by 5 frames to 2.
Mark Selby to break.
But Luca Brecel has won 5 of the last 6. And looking back for a key frame, I think it was the 4th. Selby needed blue to win it, but Brecel tied the frame and potted the tie-break black to go 3-1 up.
Well, the tie break for black was a stunning pot, and so was the one we've just seen. He knocks them in with monotonous regularity. That makes him an extremely dangerous player, one that gets in more than so many others who don't knock those ins for fun.
4. 5. 12. 13.
'Well, that's a pity. I don't know what he's done wrong there. Not much, I don't think. The cue ball really did
20.
zip into the bunch and went into them a second time. But you always need luck on that shot, no matter how good you are at playing it. Now, he hasn't made many mistakes, but that was one.
Luca Brecel.
His
20.
safety has been excellent, but he should have known there was red going over the pocket. If he's covered it, he's been a little fortunate.
Well, he has full ball, but there is another one available.
Yes, you mentioned earlier on what a good player he was as a junior and youngest ever player to play at the Crucible, but you know, putting the finishing touches to being a complete player takes a long time, and that was a safety mistake, unforced.
Selby faces daunting arrears, but we can be absolutely certain he'll battle it out to the last.
I think you saw from that shot he didn't pot it cleanly, and that's why the cue ball has never really got very far. It wanted to be a lot straighter than this. The kind of shot you can miss if you're thinking about the next positional shot.
cut to middle appears to be his only option. Didn't intend to cannon the green.
$17. 18.
Back in good position now.
$25. 26.
And needs to make a really telling break here. A big deficit is that much easier to recover. You can make 2 or 3 big breaks
33.
rather than have to win those frames in bits and pieces.
34.
Yeah, the table really is set for that big break though as well, isn't it? 5 reds plumb in the middle of the table. And no obvious reason apart from the fact that he's 5-2 down why he shouldn't do it. I think at this level mistakes can be minor ones. Luca Brecel went into the bunch and he was a bit unlucky at the time. But then his next safety shot was not quite at the highest level. And that's all he's done. It's not right in this frame.
41.
I remember the first ranking title that Selby ever won, Welsh Open. He came from 3 down with 4 to play to beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, and he's recovered similar deficits against O'Sullivan in the Masters. He's come from behind in World Championship finals as well.
$48. 49. 56. 57. 62. 63.
The applause signifies that Selby has recovered 1 frame
69.
of his deficit.
70.
Tried to move the last red to a better position.
76.
Not that it matters. It might have been nice to
Mark
make a
Selby,
century.
76.
It always is.
And the frame.
But 76 served its purpose. And Selby has reduced Brecel's lead to 5-3.
Thank you. Frame 9. Luca Brecel to break.
So Brecel needs 1 more frame to qualify for Saturday evening's semi-final against Sean Murphy. Selby needs 3. Excellent shot from tight on the rail, and all the better because he can pot the brown.
Yeah, very good. I know that the cue ball was on its way up the table anyhow. But you've got to be cueing okay to get those. That's not the worst kiss ever. I don't know if the black or the red next to it are available to the right corner. It makes a big
5.
difference. If they are, well, yes is the answer. Both. He was actually making sure the black was, or finding out whether the black was on its spot, because if he ever pots a red that's not the one next to the black now, and then the black, he didn't want the black to respot and not be available.
Thanks. 6. $13. 14.
This really is
21.
excellent from Selby. 5-2 down, must have been thinking about having a couple of days rest and relaxation, but he's not that way inclined. He's not given up this match at all. He's raised his game. He knew that's what he had to do. Summon up the
22.
concentration and the energy from somewhere. I'm not sure quite where.
Caught the second red very full, which meant that he's left a thin cut on the black.
Yes, and in putting all his energies into that shot, he hadn't really an obvious red to play on.
29.
Caught the red totally wrong. It's not an easy one now to keep the break going. A little bit of a Steve Davis 85 final black ball from the other side of the table, isn't it?
Next door.
There is music next door. There's something going on, a big exhibition or similar. I don't suppose we can ask them to turn it down. There's loads of people out there. Big old place, isn't it, the Rico? Lots going on, Clive, here.
Yeah, several arenas.
Yeah, because it's in the next room. He's gone round to see what he can do, but because it's another room, it's out of our control. But he is going to go
Plus
around
a
and see what
football
he can do.
stadium, which Coventry City share with Wasps Rugby Club.
Well, it found its way in, but not exactly cleanly. Playing on the loose thread, I think certain players might have thought about going into the bunch, but he's just the point was trying to keep control of the table.
35.
Didn't want to take any risks that might see him unlucky. But of course he will have to get into the bunch soon. That is, I think, the best shot he's hit all day. Stun run through, and he couldn't have put that cue ball any better with his hand to go into the pack from where he is on the black ball. Oh, hang on. Look at, where's this going to go? Well, whether it goes in front or behind the cue ball, it's not nice.
Well, that was unlucky.
$43.
He kind of screwed in and out of this bunch a little bit too quickly, never went through them. But when the black goes on its spot, of course, you could never legislate for that happening. Horrible queuing. That's all he could do. He's done it well.
Mark Selby, 43.
Selby's 5-2 arrears have been reduced to 5-3. If he can make it 5-4, we might see the first flickers of anxiety in Brecel.
Yes, he actually mentioned earlier on, Clive, that that match where he was 7-1 up in the World Championships back in the springtime against Marco Fu and lost, taught him a lesson or two. Now, he mentioned it, so it's still in the back of his mind somewhere. That was a very big lead to eventually lose in what was a very important match.
Yeah, 7-1 in front, lost 10-9 to Marco Fu. First round at the Crucible.
Well, he's a tempter up into the top left, and he doesn't appear to be tempted by it. I think it goes, but either way he's playing safe. It's a good shot. He's covered everything there. That's a perfect judgment of pace. Didn't look like he could get Mark Selby in trouble, but he's done his best to. Well, he's just desperate to find something to go at, isn't he? He's looked at a red into the left middle, it just doesn't go. The plant, both players have now looked at to the right middle. I don't know, he's on it. It's certainly top jaw. And it might just come down with the nap of the cloth, but it doesn't look a natural by any means. Best to play safe and wait one, I think. Wait for a better chance. It's a difficult balance when you're in front against a leading player. You don't want to just wait for the winning line to come, but you don't want to just hastily go for everything either. Luca is prowling around the table, just hoping for something that he can go for and give himself another chance. I don't think there's anything here. There's that red, that the extreme right. I don't know if it pots into the top right, but it's not very nice anyway. A 43-point lead is not a huge lead where the balls are. One chance could be a frame over either way.
Touching ball.
Well, I wonder if he can find a way in behind the black here. Because he hasn't got to touch the red because he's already touching now. Very difficult to get the weight right, but if he could land in behind the black, that would be a good shot. For once, his touch deserted him slightly.
Using the second ball as a stopper. That was very good.
It's a dual purpose shot, wasn't it? Top was one thing, but the cue ball was very well guided back there. This might just drop onto the two reds here without any real danger of sticking one.
Selby is giving Brecel's tactical game a thorough examination.
I think he's worried about where the reds are going to finish if he plays to screw into them. Get the cue ball back down under the black cushion. He might be screwing red onto the pink here. No, that's also a very good shot. And also, yeah, the other point is that the reds are not very out in the open anymore. And of course, with that 43-point lead, all that is in Selby's favour. The more safety you get, the more the balls go awkwardly.
Another good return to the black cushion.
Very good shot. Played with right hand running side. He wanted to avoid getting anywhere near brown and blue on the way back. It's a good shot. He is competing very well in safety as well as everything else that he's doing. Well, I think we view Mark Selby as certainly one of the greatest tactical players that we've seen, if not the best of all, actually. It's very hard to keep up with him.
Had a pretty kind flick off the second ball.
Yeah, that's why he tapped the table. He knew he'd been lucky. He actually lost the battle, but was fortunate. And the red came up, but the cue ball was well played.
This safety duel has been in progress 12.5 minutes. Brecel spotted that there was a possible shot to nothing there. Could have potted that red. It might have been on the black.
Yeah, little things though, Clive, like just nudging the black down from that shot nearer to the cushion. No good to him. Wants it in play.
Very good again.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he has got a shot this time. And even though Brecel wants to be positive, he's not had a pot to even consider for about the last 10, 12 shots. Nothing. Only shot I can think of here would be to drop onto the two reds from the on the left of the table from the vault cushion. It's okay. I don't think that his next shot's going to be a lot of fun either, though. At the moment, he's just got to keep his concentration, Brecel, and hope something comes, if not here and now in this frame, but the next. Oh, well, that is a great pot, and that's literally the first shot he's even had an opportunity to go for in ages. And that's also a good shot, just dropping it in. I don't know quite how many he can make here, but anything is a help. This, I mean, look at this shot.
7.
Thin, long distance. That's a pity.
Luca
Because
Brecel.
that red was much
7.
more basic. Hasn't left anything though.
Thanks.
Well, that's stirred the reds up a bit. Has left a possible pot though. Far from easy at that distance.
One.
Well, the green certainly offers a chance to disturb some of those reds, or 3 reds there to the right of where it is. And it disturbed them, but I don't know if the next shot's very
4.
easy, whichever one he decides on. It's quite a brave shot, trying to make things happen. He's doing his very best. I think he's deciding enough's enough in behind the pink with the cue ball. That's also developing that red.
Luca Brecel, 4.
Still in there in this frame. It's a very good pot. I mean, I guess the plan would have been for the cue ball to avoid hitting anything on the way back up. But now the pot's gone in, I guess that's irrelevant.
Three.
Four obviously potable reds, and even excluding the 2 on side cushions, that would be enough.
Four. Ten.
Oh, this is missable. It looks easy on overview, but as you can see, it's one of these at fairly a narrow angle, potting angle. Well played.
11.
All he's doing here, Clive, is reminding anyone out there, he can be beaten, but if you do beat him, you're going to know you've had a match. Because it takes me a little bit back to the Steve Davis era, when he was the dominant force in the game. You had to battle all the way against him. He'd never give in.
$14.
A very
Selby,
surprising miss.
14.
Yes, he overcut it, didn't he? Whether he didn't get through the ball properly, maybe decelerated, and sometimes that is what happens. You see the ball overcut.
Well, I thought he'd have that red and the other loose one without too much trouble to clinch the frame. But play continues.
Yes, and I'm down the line of this from where we're commentating from, and the red closest to the top left pocket, he can actually get enough of the potting angle. It's not easy, but he can reach it.
One.
Length of the table, tight on the rail. Always a good shot, even when the object ball hasn't got to go very far to the pocket. But what has he done there?
Oh, that really was a sitter. Now all of a
Selby
sudden
won.
he looks up at the scores and he realises that he's not safe. However, he could take 3 red and pinks, which would be okay. The black's not really in the game at the moment. He can't believe it. How's he missed that?
Perhaps took it for granted. Yellow and the red that he was playing on would have been enough.
Maybe, but it's not something he does very often, take things for granted. But like I say, the problem Luca's got is the points. He can't take any low value colours at all. And really,
One.
how on earth is he going to take that red by the yellow and get on the pink?
Well, he doesn't have to do it all in one visit, of course.
No, and I think that's why Selby looked at the scores. He said, am I going to get back to the table? The
7.
answer is probably yes.
Okay. 8.
So Brecel's
Luca
chance
Brecel. 8.
goes out of the window. $39 the difference, only 35 on. Looks as if Selby's going to get away with his horrendous error at his last visit to the table.
Frame conceded.
Brecel
Frame.
completely
Half
misjudges
Selby.
his safety and concedes forthwith. So Selby, having been 5-2 down, now trails only 4-3. Sorry, 5-4. 2 to 5-4.
Thank you. Frame 10. Mark Selby to break.
Luca Brecel is still 1 frame short of the winning post.
Be very interesting to see if those long pots still go in now that he's been absolutely nailing them all day, actually. There's another one. Long bouts of safety sometimes do blunt players' ability to not to pop those. Still remains an extremely dangerous player. But he's under it now a little. No, I think his body language tells you everything you need to know there. He's played a good shot and he's just having to be stuck to that red, which means not only is he not on the pink to pot it, I don't think he can see anything, any part of it. It's fine margins at this game.
Selby wanted to leave the cue ball very close to that red in case he didn't pot the one that he attempted.
I mean, the problem he's got here is if he can't see the pink at all, any part of it, which it doesn't look like he can, it's not very easy to get out of a snooker. Self-inflicted. If he tries to lay up to the black around 2 or 3 cushions, goodness, he could easily leave a red on even if he plays the shot well.
Black ball.
Nominated the black. This is really tough. Well,
Foul.
if he left just hit the front of that black, he left an awkward shot for Brecel. Well, does he really want to play this, or does he want Selby to go in again? And because I don't think Selby's got any guarantees of keeping it safe. I think he has to go back.
Come on. Okay, thank you. Black ball.
He's left it about as awkward as he could have done.
It's some shot, Clive, isn't it, to finish there? You know, if he's got centre ball striking at this red, it's very potable, but he can't pot it now.
Shot to nothing that, and not a bad second prize.
He just might, though, have forced Luca Brecel into one of his specials here. It's the only red he can see. So he might have to go for this. Deciding not to. Can't say it was a bad decision, because that looks to be a very good safety shot. Had to get the cue ball through quite a small gap there to make that possible. Well, the black ball is certainly playing a little part in this safety duel, because if Mark wanted to play off the edge of the bunch, he could easily go into it either on the way down the table or the way back up. Playing the red up the table though by the blue. And he was fortunate there, goodness. He knows he can't leave a long red for Brecel, and somehow he hasn't left anything to be potted.
Selby showing just how hard he is to nail, even when he's a long way behind.
That's a safety shot that Mark Selby himself would have been pretty proud of. It's as good as you'll see. We often show you some spectacular pots, but this is just a delightful safety shot, and it was not easy to play to the point where Mark Selby is escaping from the side cushion. It's a brilliant shot.
Hit the thin safety extremely well, but was fortunate at the end of it not to leave Brecel red to right corner.
No, not half. Now what does he do? He really wants to go for this long red, but it's not any guarantees of being on a colour. It's low percentage. The thin red, hitting that one on the other side, that's difficult. Now the red sticks out on the right that he's snookered behind. Doesn't want to leave that either. Well, Mark was very lucky on the previous shot. The only red he seems to be able to pot here is the one closest to his left hand, that one near the right corner. All the others seem to be blocking off each other.
Far from easy, that. There's a lot more to snooker than big breaks, and this near capacity crowd is really absorbed in this tactical battle.
One.
Brecel gets the scoreboard moving again though with that long red.
Didn't he play it well? He knew that he could get the cue ball out of there. If, well, I guess if the pot went in. But you're right, there's a lot of tension in here. A lot of people realise that the world number one is in danger of going out of the champion of champions, something he's never won before. This man's playing brilliantly all day. It's not an easy table.
3.
When Brecel kissed the pink earlier on in getting a failed safety shot, the pink went a little awkward to the blue. That was the only good news for him of that shot. Now he wishes it was out in the open. Might be playing on the black here.
Luca Brecel.
Wow.
3.
I wouldn't have fancied him on the black very much if the red had gone in anyway. Kind of slightly mishit that, I think.
Decelerated slightly through the shot, but Selby can't get at that red.
Well, it's not impossible. This could end up a real stalemate here. Why would Selby take any risks? And Luca can't afford to either. I can see both players tapping up to that red until the cows come home. It's a gamble to play up in behind the green. If he wanted to play a shot like that, he'd have to be certain that he would get it. Otherwise, what happens? Oh, this is a very brave shot.
Didn't mean to cannon a second red, but the blue and pink cover the red over the pocket.
I mentioned Selby was fortunate early in the frame. Well, Lucas certainly was there. That was a big gamble. Swerve. If he gets too much, he could follow the cue ball through here. Oh, he's played it really well. Any sort of contact was always going to be enough to pot the red.
Three. 4.
Well, it was never going to be a really good chance until those two balls were disturbed, pink and blue. So he had to do it.
Nine.
That's another shot that's not worked out as he meant. I mean, if he pots the red to the right corner, I don't see any other colour that he can play on except the black. He doesn't really want to be doing that. How can he get onto any other colour?
Ten.
Biggest shot in the match so far for me, this next one. Massive.
But now that he's got it, he could go on to win the frame from it.
17. 18. 25.
You're really not sure if he can get to the potting angle, but the left-hand side might just make it possible. Almost straighten it up. Yeah, it's definitely left of centre
26.
striking there.
Mark Selby really is the Iron Man of snooker.
33. 34.
Maybe the best player from behind the game has ever seen.
Forty-one. 42.
'This match has been going 3 hours, in addition to the 2.5 hours that
47.
Selby had to play this afternoon to see off Liang Wenbo.
48. 53. 54.
Well, I think he tried to hold as much as he could to stay on the red at the bottom of the two, but I mean, he couldn't
61.
have hit the black any slower, otherwise it would have stood on the table now, over that right corner. So he's not over the line yet. He couldn't hold it, could he? Clearly. This was as slow as you could pot it, and still too far for the next ball.
Mark Selby, 61.
Attempted the plant, but was always taking the cue ball away towards the ball cushion.
Played it well, but all reds tied up. And Selby will not be shifting those three reds down the table. And rather play the red on the side cushion than that, and that's in a safe position. Put it on the other side cushion instead. Good measure. That's another good shot, isn't it?
There's no doubt about it. Brecel's safety has matured a lot this season.
Yes, and at this time Mark would not have wanted to move this red, but he has absolutely no choice. That's also very good. Now, clearly the frame is not over, and the way the balls are shaping up, you know, clearance is on, albeit not easy, but it's only those reds underneath the black as it stands that are stopping the possible dish up, and for Brecel that would be the match. I think Mark will be fully aware of the possible dangers of this situation. Big lead in the frame, but not enough yet.
The ready play crawls round the back of another red, finishes near the pocket, but Brecel can't see it.
No, but can you see that other red that you mentioned? Does that pop? Oh, what a great pot it was too. Well, now he has made some very fine clearances this season, but this would be the best of the lot. He doesn't want to be looking at too many low-value colours. Brilliant. He had a look at the scoreboard, and he needs to think about which colours he's going to take, because he hasn't got an enormous amount of points to play with here. He's all right for the moment, taking, say, the brown. But that would mean that he went high-value colours with everything else. Even the green, bit of a luxury.
Four.
Obviously, where the reds are placed, he's likely to take the black anyhow.
5.
And this is the first clear-cut chance that Brecel has had for ages.
Yes, and you feel it's that red that's directly below the black. We've seen Selby coolly drop one of those in earlier in the frame. This one
12.
feels like it'll be even more difficult if he gets to it.
13.
And he's got far enough up the table, crucially, for this black. I said Selby's shot was a big shot a few moments ago. This one's even bigger, I think. This could be the match if this goes in.
$20. $21.
What a shot. What a shot that was. Now, left hand reverse screw. Goodness me, the tension is unbelievable here.
28.
But Brecel has played this very coolly so far.
30.
Now he's just under hit, underscrewed. The last thing he wanted to do was have to go all around the table. The blue and pink being close together would make that very difficult. He manages to hold.
33.
One big shot could be enough. Well,
37.
this would be one of the best clearances I've ever seen under pressure, if you could make this.
$42.
Unbelievable. This is breathtaking for me.
This for the match. Brecel led 5-2.
Luca Brecel.
Selby got it back to 5-4 and was within a ball of levelling at 5-all. But when chance came along with Brecel in the decider, he cleared up at 55 to win on the black and take the match 6 games to 4.